Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Child Abuse Awareness for Darlene J. Clark. Be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Even just a few minutes ago, I found out more information on the sick duo right here. I'm a little bit flabbergasted about that. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips and balance in favor of fair use. Make sure to put trigger warning across the bottom there. Put the Bible verse here. But whoso shall fear one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. This is a pastor right here and his wife. Colossians 3:21. Fathers, do not embitter your children, or they will become discouraged. Hello, welcome back. I want to present the screen. I want to share with y'all my new book that got just went into effect here at Amazon at the moment. It's Born in a Living Hell. It's got a Kindle version. It's got a hardcover, paperback. It's also got an audio book. If people just like to listen to the audio, right now, if you had a membership trial with Audible, you get it for free at the moment. See the audio book there to the right. I figured I'd show y'all that right quick. And look at Darlene J. Clark, Born in a Living Hell. Here's how the picture generally looks. Let me go back. Hold on, sorry. Born in a Living Hell, version 2.0. Okay. Without further ado, let's get to the story. First, I'll tell what the other story, what I heard first, and then I'll show y'all what I just found out, okay? Thank you so much. I'm glad you're back, Chris. Thank you. So, Nashville police arrest Greenville, South Carolina pastor and wife on multiple child sex abuse charges. Thanks to Terry Benjamin II of Greenville News. There's a sheriff's office in Greenville. A Greenville pastor and his wife were arrested in Tennessee and face more than 24 charges related to child sexual crimes. Please hit the thumbs up and please share this to your people, friends. Metro Nashville police officers arrested Myron Korbajian, age 73, and Kathleen Korbajian, 70. But these are crimes that stem back from 1970, not just recent, but they finally having to pay for it. May the 15th on multiple charges of sexual conduct involving their adopted and biological children. According to a statement from the Greenville County Sheriff's Office, they were extradited to Greenville County on May the 23rd. According to arrest records, Myron Korbajian is charged with 3 counts of second-degree criminal sexual conduct with a minor, 3 counts of incest, so that's his own daughter, 1 count of second-degree criminal sexual conduct, 14 counts of placing a child at risk, and 2 counts of second-degree assault and battery. Continue reading. Kathleen Chorbajian is also charged with 14 counts of placing a child at risk and 2 counts of accessory at the fact. What I'm going to show y'all in a few minutes, She needs more charges against her too, what I had just found, okay? Definitely. In April, Greenville County investigators initiated an investigation after one of the victims contacted law enforcement to report alleged abuse that occurred in the family home, according to Greenville County Sheriff's Lieutenant Ryan Flood. The Corbajans had 7 adopted children and 1 biological daughter. According to the report, the abuse allegedly began in the 80s. Preliminary findings indicate that all the male children were subjected to physical abuse, while all the female children suffered sexual abuse. Oh, wow. Wow. According to the warrants, y'all, let me do this. I got to do I have trigger warning showing across the bottom? I hope I do. According to the warrants, Myron Korbajian abuses children in multiple ways of punishment. The warrants detail that Korbajian performed sexual acts on a child between 11 and 14, beat his children with a belt until unconscious, forced children to eat rotten or moldy food, which made them go into a dumpster and get the rotten food from the dumpster, okay? And made them eat it. Punched one of the children in the face and made them sleep in garbage cans. Y'all don't deserve a proper meal in the jail. You do not deserve it. 2 separate cases involved Korbajian breaking a coffee mug over a child's head, and another when he killed family pets in front of his children as punishment. Like my daddy used to do that. Korbajian was a pastor of First Southern Methodist Church on Fort Shoals Road, according to the church's Facebook page. The church did not respond to the news request for comments. The couple was denied bond on May the 24th and was being held at the Greenville County Detention Center. Do not let these culprits go. Do not. And anybody that was around these, they had to know. And they had to see the abused kids. They had to know what was going on. So y'all should be charged if y'all knew about it and did nothing. See if this one right here says, let's see if it says, upstate pastor wife faces disturbing charges. Officials said a pastor and his wife who are facing disturbing charges, here's the pictures right here. Myron, and there's the church back in the background, see? And Kathleen. They were facing disturbing charges in the upstate when arrested and taken into custody in Nashville. Thank you so much, Nashville, Tennessee. Woohoo! Myron Korbajian is a pastor at first. It did not say was, does it? It says is the pastor of First Southern Methodist Church in Greenville. He and his wife reportedly adopted numerous children over the years. The Greenville County Sheriff's Office said deputies launched an investigation in April after a victim reported extensive abuse beginning in the 80s at the hands of Korbajian. According to arrest warrants, Korbajian sexually abused multiple female children and forced a child to search dumpsters and eat rotten and discarded food. See, there's the dumpsters proving what I had said, right? In one instance, the warrant says Korbajian paddled a naked victim 50 times. In another instance, he beat a child with a belt until the victim lost consciousness. The warrant states investigators said he forced the victim to eat dirt from the floor. He is also accused of punching a child in the face and forcing the child to sleep in a trash can. The warrant says he placed a victim in a trash can for 3 days. The victim was made to eat trash from the trash can. I'm sorry, you kids, you which are probably adults right now. I'm sorry that y'all had to endure this, man. Investigators said Korbajian ran over a child's pet kitten and then shot the kitten in the head in front of her. He also reportedly killed a dog in the presence of a child and forced the victim to bury the dog. Chorbajyan's wife, Kathleen, reportedly knew of some of the instances of sexual abuse and failed to report them. She also did not intervene when children were beaten or made to sleep in an outdoor trash can, the warrant states. I guess the cops don't know about these other incidences that we're about to go over that she did, okay? So the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department arrested Myron and Kathleen Chorbajian in Nashville on May 15th and brought them back to Greenville. According to arrest warrants, the couple was located on Opry Mills Drive at the Grand Ole Opry and taken into custody near a Dave and Buster's. The Greenville County Detention Center said Myron was charged with the following: 3 counts of criminal sexual conduct with a minor between the ages of 11 and 14, 3 counts of incest, criminal sexual conduct, second degree, 14 counts unlawful placing child at risk, 2 counts of assault and battery, second degree. There need to be a lot more charges than that to these people. Seriously. Kathleen has been charged with the following: 14 counts of unlawful placing child at risk, 2 counts accessory after the fact, a felony. Both Myron and Kathleen were denied bond and remained in the Greenville County Detention Center. Fox Carolina News did contact the Southern Methodist Church for a comment. An official with the organization said they were aware of the situation but had no comment at the time. Wow. So they're supposed to go. This is Myron Chorbajian's. Here's the we're scheduled to go before the judge on June the 3rd at 9:15 a.m. Anybody who is allowed to attend, that would be great. And here's where it's right here too, a bigger detail of this. Apparent state, incarceration, court costs, probation, restitution. There ain't much to tell at the moment right there. So let's go over here to this new details here, right? Typo, welcome back. I was disown my parents if I was those kids. I mean to say, yeah, I would too. For sure. Without a doubt. So this is the one that really grabs me too. You think like maybe I was thinking like maybe she was abused by him and maybe she was afraid to go forward and all this, right? I said maybe she was, an abused wife and afraid to tell. All right, so let's go on further down here when he's at Molotov, and then I go on and I'll read this, right? So now, woman, I hope you rot in jail too. And I hope they don't give you beds to sleep in. And I hope y'all sleep in trash cans. And hope you forage and eat rotten food out of the garbage cans. Y'all deserve the same kind of treatment that was you did to these kids, with the exception of sexual. Because y'all would like it too much. Pieces of crap. Sorry. A Greenville, South Carolina pastor and his wife have been jailed on nearly 4 counts related to the abuse of their 7 adopted children and 1 biological daughter, with allegations dating back to the 80s. Myron Chorbajian, 73, pastor of the First Southern Methodist Church in Greenville, and his wife, Kathleen Ann Chorbajian, 70, were arrested on May 15, 2025 in Nashville, Tennessee. Let's go right here. According to documents obtained by the Roy's Report, TRR, Myron faces charges including 3 counts of second-degree criminal sexual conduct with a minor, ages 11 to 14, 3 counts of incest, that means his own child, 1 count of second-degree criminal sexual conduct, 14 counts of unlawfully placing a child at risk or harm, and 2 counts of second-degree assault and battery. Anytime that you beat your kid to unconscious, that's worse than that. That right there is a life-threatening. You attempted murder on these kids repeatedly. Kathleen Chorbajian is charged with 14 counts of unlawfully placing a child at risk or harm, 2 counts of accessory after the fact of to felony. Authorities allege she was aware of the abuse but failed to intervene or report it. While no specific occupation for Kathleen is noted in available records, she is described as a homemaker who participated in raising the couple's 8 children. The investigation began in April 2025 after a victim reported extensive abuse to the Greenville County Sheriff's Office. Specialized Investigations Division officials said. The abuse, which allegedly occurred in the family's Greenville home beginning in the 80s, included physical, sexual, and psychological harm. This right here is also given credit where credit is due, so I'll be sure to read this. Your tax-deductible gift supports our mission of reporting the truth and restoring the church. Donate 50 or more to the Roy's Report this month, and you can elect to receive Saving Faith, Finding Myself, God, and One Another Outside of the Faith Church by Amy Beard. Here he is right here preaching. Pastor Myron and Kathleen preaches at First Southern Methodist Church in Greenville, South Carolina. Warrants detail Myron and Kathleen alleged acts such as sexually abusing female children and beating children with belts or paddles, in one case until unconsciousness. Says what in one case? Well, it's probably got other cases too. They probably don't have all the facts behind it. Because there's been so many times I was unconscious, and there's been so many times I can't remember it, okay? Because, it just was. All right, so Kathleen also reportedly forced a child to eat rotten food from dumpsters and killed family pets in front of the children, including running over a kitten and shooting it in the head. Kathleen is accused. Here we go with her, right? Yeah, look at that here. Kathleen is accused of forcing a child to eat a bar of soap. And you mentioned soap, right? Don't drop the soap. Kathleen is accused of forcing the child to eat a bar of soap, striking a child with a skillet. Looky here, y'all. Causing visible bruises and head trauma, and making a child sleep in a garbage can. Well, y'all think about her. Don't y'all think she needs abuse, attempted murder charges against her? Don't y'all think that when you hit somebody in the head with a skillet and it causes head trauma, that's intentionally the possibility of trying to kill one of the kids, right? You hit them inside the head with a skillet. Hello, Maxim. Good to see you. Thanks for coming, Maxim. So, when she right here has no charges of abuse against her, yet right here, she forced a child to eat a bar of soap, striking a child with a skillet, causing visible bruises and head trauma, and making a child sleep in a garbage can. She made him sleep in a garbage can as well, not just him. So what's wrong with this scenario? There needs to be more charges there, right? I got a cake of soap when I cussed when I was a kid. Yeah. But this is a different kind of scenario here. She was just vicious and mean and striking children with skillets, and the guy beating the child with a paddle, hitting them 50 times while naked. When the child was naked, and beaten with a belt till the child goes unconscious, and oh man, sexually abusing them, and incest with his own daughter, and 7 kids were adopted, and all of them were abused because at the hands of these parents. And it's it was so good to see you. Sure thing. Also, Siri came in, and I wasn't talking to Siri for some reason. Siri came. So 2 of the alleged abused victims are now deceased. I wonder what happened to those, right? Wow. I wonder how we can find out, right? How did these 2 that are deceased, what happened to them? I think if they committed suicide, I think they need to pay for that because, the parents were the cause of their mental disparities, right? So the Greenville County Sheriff's Office said though the causes of their deaths have not been disclosed. Investigate it, people. Come on now, officers, investigate it. If anybody can find out about that and do a story on that, please let me know. I want to further this and know more about what happened to these children that are deceased. You know, they were, even though they're probably adults when they died, maybe. Two of the alleged abuse victims are now deceased. The couple was extradited to the Greenville County Detention Center, where they remained without bond. South Carolina has no statute of limitations on child sexual abuse charges, allowing prosecution for these decades old allegations. The First Southern Methodist Church has not publicly commented on Myron Korbajian's status as pastor, last seen preaching on April 27, 2025, according to the church's Facebook page. It still said he was the preacher. You was abused violent. You was abused violently as well, huh? I'd like to have you on and get you to tell your story too. Okay, maximum if you're like that, and promote your channel and all that kind of stuff as well. TRR has also contacted the Reverend Rick Pigot, SMC denominational president, for comment on Korbajian's arrest, but did not immediately hear back. These are sick and twisted people. And you know, with the kids being abused that severely, all these people had to keep seeing all these injuries these kids were having, right? And it looks like nobody in the whole congregation told. Nobody. Nobody. But a kid is knocked unconscious, got traumatic brain injuries, got visible scars and everything. Oh man. Oh man. There had to be. And y'all just turned the other flipping way? Oh boy. And so this happened in the 80s. See, I grew up a little bit sooner than that. And, you know, back then it was taboo, you know, to everybody just looked the other way a lot of times, you know. There was one time when they did call the police when I was in the fifth grade and a car backfired. And they said I just ran out of the school like a bat out of hell. I was in a trance, okay? Y'all got to understand, my daddy used to shoot at me with a shotgun, okay? So when I heard that, I related that to a shotgun. So several times they said whenever that happened, at times they said they had to go looking for me, and they would find me about 3 to 5 miles down the road. But one bus driver, she's the one that was the one that actually kept finding me. So they ended up calling the police, and the police showed up. My sibling said that Daddy beats me, and he's been shooting at me with a shotgun, right? So I remember them coming out of it, you know, and being in the cop vehicle. He drives me on home to Dad, and so he asked, my dad said, "What's all these bruises? What's all these marks on her body, right?" "Oh, she fell in some blackberry bushes." And that cop turned around, looked at me, and said, "If I ever hear you say that your daddy abused you, ever hear you lie like this and say that he did this to you, we're going to do something to you." So people ask me, "Why didn't you tell?" Excuse me, the cops knew, and they threatened that they're going to do something to me if I speak of it again. So do you tell, right? Oh, wow. He didn't have a church at the time. The kids were homeschooled. Oh, man. Wow. So you must know the family, huh? So this is really ridiculous. One of the kids died of liver issues. Accusations are they made her sick. and a son overdosed. His obituary tells it all. Yeah, I'd like to find more about that. I appreciate you letting us know about this. Wow. Bless the kids' hearts. I'm really, all these other kids that's still alive and suffering through this, this is really disheartening. If you got the names and stuff like that, well, we'll be able to look it up. We'll be glad to. Oh, John. Okay, let me go ahead and take a picture of that screenshot like that. Maximum, even your parents forbid you to call them? Sometimes when you don't go into tow and do their line that they want you to do. Thank you so much, Maximum, of a username. I looked out and was a monster in size. Most kids aren't. Sad. No cops ever. Like I said, the one time, and there's been other times when I called them, like when my husband was abusive and all this other kind of stuff. And like I said, in that book that I got out at Amazon that just came available in hardcover, softcover today, Darlene J. Clark, Born to Live in Hell 2.0. Um, we got to speak out. It's happening too often to our kids. Um, that's the reason why I get the word out. It's not for the fact that I'm trying to sensationalize something. This is a real problem in America. You were the baby. I was a baby boy. You were the only boy. Oh, that's so much information. I went ahead and screenshotted that. I appreciate that. Do you know what the other person's name is, user? There's two of us. Both of us are podcasters. Maximum Evil is a podcaster as well. Out of the house of mental. Oh yeah. Yeah, like with mine, my stepmom was into, satanic worship and all that kind of stuff too. Stacy, oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate this information. I definitely will be looking more into finding out more about this, especially after the court date. I want to go do another live after we see what kind of judgment the court system is going to give them. Corbajian. Okay. What? Why did they do that? I'm sorry that they did that to you. Nightbot did that. I said because it was cats. I'm sorry that they did that to you, user. I was trying to read it real quick. Okay, it's over there. I'm only trying to help. I hate the fact that they did that. Nightbot, you need to go on a timeout. Is there a way to shut up Nightbot, Maximum, or Chris? Is there a way to time them out? Get rid of them if they're coming in here doing this crap? What did you miss? Oh, Corbajian. Corbajian. Did I say it right that time? Corbajian. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's a lot to this. When it was only a Chris Nightbot when she had it put in caps on how to pronounce it. they blocked her. They put her in timeout. And I'm like, is there a way to end up getting rid of Nightbot? Yeah, I need to definitely, if Chris knows how to get rid of the Nightbot, I would appreciate any kind of help getting, because that, I don't care when people coming in here doing cats. It's not no biggie to me as long as they're not cussing and using profanities. I allow it. So, Maximum, let us know when you'd like to come on here live and we'll share your story if you would like. Um, then touch base with me. We would love to hear your story and support you. Yes, please. Yeah, I appreciate y'all's help. Maximum, do you have me at Facebook also? Darlene J. Clark? What? They did it again. Well, Chris, you don't need to block you Chris Miller, not that one. Oh, you unhid it? Okay. Yeah, we want Nightbot hidden. Okay. Username is good, but Nightbot is the one that's causing me trouble, okay? But user's okay. Username knows a lot of good information, and I appreciate that person coming in here and let me know. Court date you were looking at is for Nashville. They have been extradited back to Greenville, and no court date set. Okay, what did? Okay, let me see there. I had to turn off that court date thing. I'm gonna put right here. I'm gonna put court date. Yeah, I know they were extradited back. Let's see. And I think they don't need to have statute of limitations on this kind of abuse either. Let's see. Okay, here's a couple. Right here, let me present. Yeah, I should hope so. There needs to be a lot more charges coming in. Tire screen. Yeah, Maximum, I'm going to make you a mod as well. There you go. Okay, so let me go to see right here where it got allegations against a married couple involved their 8 children span back to the 80s. They had 7 adopted children and one biological daughter. One of the victims contacted law enforcement in April to tell them about the extensive abuse that allegedly occurred in the family home. While Myron, the pastor at First Southern Methodist Church, been charged with 3 counts. We know all this right here. Um, Myron's sons were also allegedly subject to extreme physical violence from him. Investigators claim that Kathleen Lee was aware of the alleged sexual and physical abuse and did nothing to intervene. But according to that other report, she actually hit someone with a skillet, and made him eat bars of soap. Her arrest warrant claims she was present for many of the extreme punishments her husband allegedly doled out. He allegedly forced one child to search dumpsters and eat rotten food and discarded food. Some Christian men you know are the ones where a lot of people do not want to worship at churches. You get people like y'all around. Here's a couple was arrested near the Grand Ole Opry, a famous country music venue in Nashville, Tennessee, right here. I liked Opryland when it had the rides. Authorities say all the alleged abuse occurred at this Greenville home where the family was has lived since 1983, according to public records. Wow, that's where their home was right here. Actually, I'm gonna share your link real quick. Well, thank you, Maximum. If you like it, if y'all haven't, yeah, please subscribe too. Yeah, I know you didn't mean to. It's all right. That's fine. Just apologize to the user. You didn't mean to. I think you meant trying to get Nightbot. That's okay. But this is where the home where they live. All I can do is know that. Let's pray that the family gets justice. Everybody involved, everybody. I turned a blind eye to whatever was going on. Oh, they built on it since kids have been adults. Are you from around that area, user? And it's sick and twisted, you know what I mean? And I hope that any of the people that any of the kids, if they are married and got kids, I hope and pray they did not let the kids, their kids, around these sickos, right? I hope and pray. We are advocating for these people, these kids. In Tennessee, wait till you hear about Florida. Yeah, I know about some of Florida, but I really would love to hear your story on what happened to you in Florida. So yeah, I was in Florida part of the time, but what happened to me in Florida was where my mother actually took me around to places and sold me like around in Orlando, Florida, where she tried to prostitute me again at this was 2 to 4 year old in Orlando. Um, then so I don't know exact age. I know I was in Orlando when I was about 2 years old, so I don't know how long I was there. And then when I was 11 to 13, she told me if I wanted to eat, I would go up there and prostitute myself. So when she wasn't at home, I snuck in the house and ate mayonnaise, ketchup, salt, pepper sandwiches. I know what we had free lunches at school, but me not being used to eating at home, anytime I opened up the cafeteria door, I got really sick. I like to hear more of your story also too, you know. Our username did not mean too much. Oh wow. See mine was in Alabama and Florida and Georgia. They took me around, of course, you know, these stupid parents that were traffickers, and then they actually took me to Bentley Farms in Atlanta, Georgia, where these stupid people are connected to Epstein. Great, right? Wrong. But three serial killers and other murderers. I'm sorry, username. I didn't mean to block you. I was, well, when I was 14, it gets me fired up. I'm so sorry that happened to you, Chris. And whenever you feel like telling your story, I want to have you on it when you feel strong enough, okay? You did not deserve it either. Thoughts and prayers go with you, user. I really do appreciate the fact that you're getting this information out and letting us know. If you want to add me at Facebook username, I'm Darlene J. Clark. I'd love to have you as a friend. What part of Alabama, Maximum? It's kind of funny that I was afraid to talk to some of the people at a karaoke thing because I knew that they were related to the state trooper who told me that he remembered me from all the child pornos that his daddy did. His daddy had over 300. I was in the majority of them, right? And I was so afraid to talk to him. I was so afraid I was going to be ostracized or called a liar, right? Come to find out, these ones came up to me and said I was abused by them also, and they were related to them, right? So here I was afraid, and now I'm friends with them, right? I'm friends with these family members who had been SA'd by them. That's more than enough, also, maximum. And wasn't there something about a brother or something that happened too, and they tried to end up killing you as well, maximum? Bible. They used to have a Bible study at their home and also taught a Bible class at a local elementary school, but it's possible the victims were their children and they kept it very quiet. Yeah. Yeah, there's possible there's other victims right there too. Like if kids will have sleepovers at times. Wow, your cousin was killed by Daniel Owen Conahan, the hog trail killer. I'm so sorry about that. He came after you as well, right? Wow, suspected of 30 murders. My stepdad, when they won custody of me when I was 11 and 13, my mom and stepdad, uh, I cannot believe the justice system went ahead and put us with him when he was still on probation 26 years for murder. How weird is the system here, right? And that's in Florida. Well, when I say suspected, the state won't pay for it because he's on death row. Ah, yeah, they don't want to find out more, and yet the family deserves justice. The family's got every right to know and to seek justice for their loved ones. He's on death row, so yeah, he got the death sentence. How long has he been in there? One conviction, 29 left. Wow. Since 1996? I'm glad and thank God you are not a statistic, even though he came after you as well. So praise God that you made it through. Oh, it's 30 years. Wow. You were 14? Wow, that's amazing. Well, this has been a really good, insightful live today. Y'all please pass this on and know that the families, these kids deserve justice. Everyone who knew this family and that was surrounding this family, everyone that generally cares for children and what was done as family. It does not just affect the family members there, it affects the whole community. It affects username, I'm sure, with him or her knowing all this right here. You're quite welcome. I had seen it in my Google and I said, I've got to get this out there. 6'3", 14, 6 foot. Wow. Thank you so much too. So if you ever want to look me up, username, like I said, I am Darlene J. Clark at Facebook. And I do have a book over there at Amazon that just came available today. It's called Born in a Living Hell version 2.0. I want to thank everybody for coming. As you can tell, let me see, click on this so everybody can see it. You can tell his time is coming soon. He's applied for 6 appeals last 2 years, and they think, wow, just wow, wow, wow. What part of Florida was this, if I may ask? On average, you get 30 years before death. Wow. I remember one time I was in the woods and I was climbing a tree over there in Florida, and I went to put my hand up. There was a snake on that limb, and I like, oh no, no, no. Me and that snake was looking at each other eye to eye, right? And I tried to skid down that tree as fast as I could. Luckily, when I landed, that my foot, I was up on my tippy toes because when I looked behind me, there were a lot of needles in a tackle box that had all kind of, and these were huge needles, um, not like an average one you would use for people. And I went and took one to my stepdad, and he said that's poison. I said, but um, there's a whole tackle box full of all these poisons. That's got all these. That's in these little shot things. So that was pretty scary finding that. And now I wonder, why he didn't call the police or something like that, because that could have been, why is it hidden in the woods, right? Why is this putting tackle box hidden in the woods? It's got all these poison needles in it, right? That starts to make me wonder whether he was affiliated with whatever crime, since he was a murderer and stuff. My cousin is one of the Fort Myers, Florida, discovered in 2007 in one area. What age is this guy? Sarasota County, Lee. I won't be surprised since there's so many people. Wow. I'm just glad with I was living in Florida, and I had to, like I said, I walked the streets because my family wouldn't feed me. And so when she said I needed to sell my body to be able, if I want to eat, but I refused to do that. So I walked up and down the railroad tracks. I walked all over Greensboro, Florida. Um, just everywhere. I am lucky that I was not abducted. Thank God for that, right? There was one guy one time that that come after me, but there was a hurricane and it started blowing me around. So I kind of think that guy was getting out of his vehicle to try to help me because I couldn't even walk. I was getting blown around, and it blew me into one of the neighbors' concrete front porches and everything, and then I was able to get my bearings. But I don't think that person was going to do me any harm. He just seen a kid being blown around and couldn't even make it back to the house. I remember I was scared being in that little home, right, in the little shack. And so I went down to where my stepdad was at uh, one of their friends' house because I was scared of the hurricane, being alone. And they told me to go back home. And I was thinking, really? I got to go back home in this storm? I got to, I was petrified. They said, yeah, the dogs don't need to be alone during this time. You need to go back over there and be with the dogs. And I was thinking, what about my life, right? What about mine? Yeah. I thank God for everybody that comes clean and comes and spreads the words about that. Yeah, I was blown away. I was um I was small. Uh I looked when I was even 14 years old. I wonder if the views kind of stymied me a little bit, my height and everything, because I looked more like an 11-year-old maybe. And then when I was 11, I looked more like an 8-year-old. I was I was very little, you know. But I had to help elderly and kids get inside. That's very good of you. Thank you for doing that. That's what we need to do is help. Uh, Someone recently fussed at me because I helped some of these people that can't get to stores. And so I'll go pick them up and take them to go grocery shopping, even though there's a bus around here that will take them shopping. All that they're allowed to get is like 3 bags of groceries. And I'm like, I'll take you to the store. You get as many groceries if you like, right? I'll be glad to take you, help them out so they can get everything they need. It's just something you do when you care about others, right? It would have been you trying to help me out. Jesus gave me strength to protect myself. That doesn't mean it's just me. Exactly. He gave me the strength to where, after I did get blown over there to the porch, I was able to start walking again. Maybe the wind died down a little bit or something. I don't really know. But then that person just got back in their vehicle and I was able to walk back to the house. But I wanted to cry so bad because I felt like nobody loved me or nothing. I was terrified. Kind of find out, like in my book, I talk about the danger game I played with a train track, with the trains. I would go up underneath the train. It started going slowly, and wanted to do a little games. How many times can I get across before it started going too fast? So I was going up underneath the trains. I didn't care. I said, well, at least, I don't have to starve no more. At least I ain't got to be worried about being told that I got to prostitute myself or something, right? Um, so I thought if I'm gone, I'm gone. That was my thinking. But then my foot got stuck in between the railing and that wooden little part right there, that's in the middle, like in the road part. And I just barely got my foot out in time and my shoe out before I ended up run over. So I thank God for saving me during that time too. It could have been a total different story. But I never played that game ever again after that. And the neighbor went ahead and told mom about me doing that and said, well, I hope she does die. I hope she does get killed. I don't care whether or not she lives or dies, really. So if she wants to do that game, let her, I don't really want her. And I bet if she tried to call Child Protective Services, they wouldn't do nothing back then. Let's go. Okay, I appreciate it, username. I hope I get to see you again, too. Thank you so much. We're trying to get the keep the word out about the Corbajans. God bless you. Thank you so much. Username. I'm going to go ahead and as a moderator too. Thank you. I hope you come back in there, and I'm proud to see you. Thank you so much. I think this was a really good live that we did today, and I look forward to having you on the show, Maximum, and question you, and as well as you, Chris Miller. Y'all's story matter. Your lives matter. You're always an inspiration to me. We all got a story that we need to share and get out there, no matter how minute somebody's story may be. Your story matters, and you matter. I say God bless each and every one of y'all, and thank you so much. Be sure to share, like, put thumbs up. Thank you. God bless.